Toastmaster Nelson Jaikumar. I welcome you all this great Friday evening, meeting number 626. I would like to begin by starting the mission of the Toastmasters Club. We provide you supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skill, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Some rules to be respected during the meeting. First one, please turn off your noise-making device and put on silent mode. And second one, speakers are requested to refrain from your making any reference to politics, sex, and religion in their speeches. The audience are requested to mute your mic. No members or audience will be allowed to move out of the meeting once the meeting is begun. Once again, I welcome you all and best of luck. Please help me to welcome our president to start the meeting. He is past VP membership, immediate past VP education. He is like to read books and cycling in free time. Currently, he is working as a status as a business manager. Let me help me to welcome our President M. Mayur. Over to M. Mayur.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joseph, for wonderful introduction. I open meeting number 626. Good evening, Toastmaster and guests. Now I would like to first invite our joke master for the day. She is a passionate learner having academic qualification. Can you guys go on mute if you are not speaking? Yeah, thank you. She is a passionate learner having academic qualification as Masters in Business Management, Diploma in Montessori Method of Education, and Crash Course in Nutrition. She worked in education industry and had planned to start a preschool. She started recently her YouTube channel known as Shushma Cooking that is focusing on nutrition and healthy way of speaking. A healthy way of cooking, sorry. Please welcome our joke master for the day, Toastmaster Shushma. Over to you, Shushma.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mayur, for such a wonderful introduction. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guest. Wife asks husband, honey, why do you go out in the balcony when I start singing? Husband says, simple, honey, so people think I'm not beating you. Another joke. Wife, she joins English speaking course. Husband, he comes back from office and he looks very tired. Wife receives him with a lot of love and affection. Husband says, today it was very hectic schedule and I feel very tired. Wife says, it's okay, darling. Rest in peace. So, another one. Wife husband, he comes back from office and he looks very sad and dull. He sits next to wife and wife notices that he's looking very sad. He's not like normal days. And she asks, darling, you look so tired today. What happened, honey? He says, today you were so lucky. You know what happened? Our building, entire building collapsed. Everyone lost their lives. Except me. You were so lucky. I had to go out to have my tea. Otherwise, you would have lost. Today, you wouldn't have seen me. So she thanked God. Nothing happened to you. Then there is a breaking news on TV. So she's watching very seriously. The news says those who lost lives in the building tragedy, their families would be granted 5 crores from government. The moment, the moment she watches that news, she says, "Oh God." She screams at husband, "Million times I told you to give up the habit of going out and drinking tea. You ignored many times. Otherwise, I would have got 5 crores." Then husband was speechless. Over to President Toastmaster Mayu.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sushma, for entertaining us with husband-wife jokes with today. So, why do we? Do you know in how many years India won yesterday bronze medal in field hockey? It is in 40. We are great people, when it comes to anything free opinion. Team is losing any match with opponent. And yesterday, Indian hockey team made us proud after 41 years of drought in getting any Olympic medals. Our team, who government supported them with any kind of facilities. I recently saw a post from our hockey team goalkeeper Srijes, who people are now referring to the wall. Earlier, we used to call Rahul Dravid as a the wall, but now he is the wall. He stood tall till last minute to save one goal, and because of that, India got one medal yesterday. Them alive span of 4. It's there and fast. It's not easy to come back and won. Had lot of irrefragably. We should also keep faith in ourselves, even when situation circumstances are not in our favor. Keep grinding and believe in ourselves. We will get started working similarly become a great speaker. You have to start speaking at least 1 minute regularly. You can start by 10 or 100 in all as exercise. Then you can further speak of 5 to 7 minutes. And then after when you get it perfect in that area, after finishing 20 to 30 speeches of similar or various different kinds, you will be ready to face an audience where you can take questions from them and become a good speaker. With that, and so keep faith in yourself. And now, good dear guest and Toastmaster, I would like to invite our Toastmaster of the day, who will be bringing an interesting theme, which is age is just a number and maturity is a choice. He is the youngest member of our club with 83-year age of legacy he created his life. He lived in Saudi Arabia and Bahrain for 30 odd years and served in India for 10 years. He is a civil engineer by profession and handle various civil projects in these countries. He can speak 6 languages. His hobbies include playing tennis and billiards. Please welcome our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Joseph. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mayur, for this amazing introduction. I think today's theme is only meant for me, I suppose, because all of you are just half my age or even less. God bless you all. I'm really excited to speak on this day. It's meant for me, and I am the TMOD. It's a grace for me. How old would you be if you don't know how old you are? Chanakya once said, the man remains full just as Indra Varuna fruit does not become sweet no matter how ripe it becomes. But this becomes a very sarcastic remark, I would say. Then another author who said, his name is Anto, said, age is only a number. To a large extent, is dependent on your exposure to life, its experience, and your lesson learned from them. And that's a very correct way of description of the age and the maturity. In my childhood days, my IQ was a normal, I would say, according to me. When I have a son and when I checked is my IQ, in the same age when I was there, his IQ is double than mine. Then again, I have a chance to check my grandson IQ, and he is much more than both of us. What does this mean? The technology on one side is increasing in its what you call the exponential series, so also the IQ. I would say the senior citizens are called celebrities, while the super senior citizens will be called superstars. You know why? The senior citizens, in all their life, they are cruising their families in the right direction. They have more celebrations. They have experienced the celebrations. Even their birthdays have been celebrated. There are so many functions. There were so much of what you can say, the guidance to their family. They are the light of the family. Similarly, the super citizens too. You can be called, the super citizens are called the superstars of the day, superstars of the what I can say, this millennium, because they have seen much more. They are more than 60 and above. They have seen much more than that. So these are the things. You see, they have expected, they participated in several celebrations. Not only that one, their lives were there, many ups and downs in life. The families have seen best and worst days also. Perhaps the great lesson or the bitter lesson these celebrities have steered in bringing their families and children and grandchildren in pursuing them, realizing their new dream, vision, and their aspirations in life. Ernesta George quotes, it was an old saying, you should talk like a child when you are a child, and you should talk like an adult when you are an adult. But as long as it makes me happy and I'm not hurting anyone, I will act whatever age I want. That's what he says. He also says that I can't promise my grandchildren that I'll be here for the rest of their lives, but I can promise that I will be them for the rest of mine. I will love them for the rest of mine. In this world, you are really starting to face your mentality in a deep extensional way. It is the age of maturity. It is the age that can be applied to male and female. This is the age of dignity, where they are no longer be excused for the stupidity of the lack of experience. Authors like Erickson, who made a research on people of different age, say 35, is the productivity versus transition. He also says that 40 is the age, in other words, really moving to picture now. One of the things in 40 is the gray hair, is a sign of wisdom. That is what the old adage always say. 40 to 50 is the age in terms of contribution, because you really have the still of the remnants of strength in you, and also have the maturity of intellect and spirituality. Now let us go to the Toastmasters. Toastmaster International is a non-profit educational organization that operates clubs worldwide for the purpose of helping members improve their communication, public speaking, and leadership skills. It was founded by Ralph C. Medley on October 22nd, 1924 at the YMCA in Santa Ana, California, United States. In fact, after this, 14 years after this introduction, I was born. Toastmaster International Platform has today 3.6 million people around the world in 145 countries, 6,200 clubs that has produced more confident speakers and leaders because of their participation in Toastmasters. Now it is the time for me to introduce to you our general evaluator. She's an architect by qualification, a public speaker by passion, mom by choice, and traveler in dreams. Very good description. Mom by choice, my God. She is a long-lost public speaker, having started a journey in 2000. Professionally, she is an entrepreneur and teen mentor and is on a journey to empower children with confidence and leadership through a startup, We Talk, a public speaking program for children aging 6 years to 16 years. She enjoys binge watching on Netflix and catching up with friends in New York. Currently serving as a VP Education at Spedley D92, President at Rural Toastmaster District 121, and an Area Director for Area 11 District 121. Let us join our hands to welcome Toastmaster Natasha. Toastmaster Natasha, over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Joseph. That was such a lovely introduction, and what a beautiful theme that you just lived. Because there's a famous quote which says, I don't believe in age, it's just a number. I believe in energy, and you just personified that. So ladies and gentlemen, don't let age dictate what you can and cannot do. And that is why I am here today to take a look at what's happening in the Speech Weavers meeting, Toastmasters meeting here. As General Evaluator, it is my role, it is my job, it is my duty to review, record, and report on the entire proceedings of the meeting from the word go. And believe it or not, I have already started making my notes. But such a humongous task cannot be done alone. So I am assisted in this role by a very efficient team consisting of the timer, the counter, the grammarian, and a listener. I will now pass on the virtual stage to my efficient team members to please explain their roles. For timer, I am being assisted by Toastmaster Akash. Could you please explain your role?
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. I have a good news and a bad news for you. Let me start with the bad news. Time flies. That's right. No matter what you do, you can't stop the time. But wait, I have a good news as well. The good news is you can be the pilot of your own time. And for helping you to fly your own time, I am playing the timer role for today's meeting. How I am going to help, I'll signal, green signal, when you reach the minimum required time for your speech. When you reach the mean time, I'll show a yellow signal. When you reach the maximum allotted time, I'll show you a red signal. For prepared speeches, you will see a green signal at 5 minutes, a yellow signal at 6 minutes, and a red signal at 7 minutes. And for table topics, you will see a green signal at 1 minute, you'll see a yellow signal at 1 minute 30 seconds, and a red signal at 2 minutes. You will be given a grace period of 30 seconds, and you have to wrap up your speech by then. That's it from my end. I'll be back with my timer report when called upon. Till then, enjoy the meeting. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Akash. Let's all hold tight and sit on the edge of our seats to make sure that time does not fly while we enjoy the meeting. Moving on to the next supporting role is Toastmaster Biddu, who is playing the role of the counter. Could you please explain your role, Toastmaster Biddu?
Sure. Oftentimes, when we speak, we think. And how do we cover that up? Sometimes by using filler sounds like and sometimes by using repetitive words or overused words. As a part of my job, I will note such kinds of filler and overused words with respect to different speakers and will give my report when I am called upon as a general evaluator at the end of the meeting. Over to you, general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Biddu. That was a very well-explained role of the counter. I like how you said that when we don't know what we want to say, we tend to depend on filler words. That was a brilliant explanation. Moving on to the third role, which actually the third and the fourth role being played by the same person. And I would like to request Toastmaster Adarsh to introduce his role as the grammarian and as the listener. Over to you, Toastmaster Adarsh.
Greetings to all Toastmasters and guests. I'm Adarsh, and I'll be playing multiple roles today. I'll be taking up the role of a grammarian as well as that of a listener. Now, if you're not aware of what I do exactly, I'm going to point out that as the grammarian, it's my job to point out areas where you excelled, and I'm also going to point out areas where you could possibly improve and make yourself a better speaker. And as for my role as the listener, I'll be listening to all of your speeches and table topics, and I'll be posing questions towards the end of the session to judge how good your listening skills are. Now, as my role as the grammarian, it's necessary for me to introduce the word of the day, and the word of the day goes as irrefragable. So it's spelled as IRREFRAGABLE. So it means something that cannot be disputed or contested. So here are some of the possible usages for the word irrefragable. The positive impact that Toastmasters can have on an individual is irrefragable. The evidence presented to the court by the attorney was irrefragable. I hope to see all of you use the word of the day, and yes, and anyone that manages to use the word of the day will be shown a thumbs up by each of us for your efforts. For now, I'd like to hand it back to the general evaluator.
May I request you to now put on the hat of the listener and explain your role?
Ma'am, I think I just explained my role as the listener. Yes, as my role as a listener, I'll be paying close attention to all of your speeches and table topics, and I'll be posing questions to each of you to judge your listening skills towards the end of the session. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Adarsh, and I truly appreciate your donning two hats at the same time. All right, with that, I'm sure it is very clear that the role of the Tag L team is irrefragable in any Toastmaster meeting. With that, I will now hand over the virtual floor back to the Toastmaster of the day and come back at the end of the meeting to present my report. Back to you, Toastmaster Joseph.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nitasha. It was very well organized to explain each and every role, and I really appreciate you. Now, before I could call for the first speaker, I want the evaluator to be introducing the speakers, the level of project, and so on and so forth. This evaluator, she was the one who ruled in the golden age of speech weavers club. That golden age was still continuing to remain as it is by successful presidents also. However, this evaluator is a globetrotter, or I could say in the night rider also. She has an Oxford dictionary that is, she could be called as a walking dictionary. She's having so much of I should say the awards that she won in different clubs by Globetrottery. Not only that, she won many contests in district level, club level, and area level too. She was working as a vice president. She did enormous job in uplifting all the Toastmasters during those tenure. Now, she is still running in glory. And with the same crown, she's wandering everywhere. Let me call Toastmaster Deepa, the evaluator for Toastmaster Milenji. Over to you, Toastmaster Deepa.
So honored, feeling so honored by you, Toastmaster Joseph. Good evening, speech viewers, Toastmasters, and guests. I'm the evaluator number 1 and have the privilege of evaluating the first speaker. And the purpose statement of his speech reads like this. The purpose of the project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. So this is level 1 project or 2 first speech. The purpose is also for him to receive feedback from the evaluator and present it in the next speech. Timer, please note, time is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to our lovely Toastmaster of the day, Joseph.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deepa. Now, the speaker is a non-executive resident director on the board of 2 Indian subsidiaries with headquarters in Europe. He's a member of Institute of Company Secretaries of India. Is currently pursuing post-membership qualification in corporate governance. As a qualified company secretary and law graduate, he has over 30 years of experience. Wow, it's really wonderful. Because that is how he's a senior citizen having so much of maturity in attaining this experience. That's what it is called for. He's certified independent director and a certified mediator. He is on the export committee of Bangalore Chambers of Industries and Commerce and on the panel of economic affairs of Confederation of Indian Industries, Karnataka chapter. He's a distinguished Toastmaster, a professional speaker, and a club coach on communication and leadership with 3 Toastmasters corporate clubs, GESK and Rockwell Automation. The speaker is attempting level 1 project 2 of pathway presentation mastery, speech title, Be the Lion. Oh, coming from the jungle. That is a very, what I could say, scary. Over to you, Toast DTM Milan Kumar. Over to you, Toastmaster DTM Milan Kubalkar for your first speech. Clap your hands and welcome him.
How many of you from India have read in your school history books about the Battle of Korachal? Anyone?
Battle of?
Korachal.
No.
Oh, or Maharaja Martanda Varma? Okay. How many of you, next question, have read in Indian school history books the 3 battles of Panipat, the Battle of Plassey, the Battle of Buxar?
Yes.
What is one thing common in all these battles? Panipat, Plassey, Buxar, and many other battles of Indian history school books.
Ascension. This is for ascension of the country's throne.
In all these battles, the Indian side lost to the foreign invaders. And we are made to believe that we historically are a bunch of losers. My scintillating Toastmaster, my dazzling fellow Toastmasters, and sparkling guest. That fact that we all are here even today, following our old customs, our traditions, including our traditional names, Adarsh, Vandana, Mayur, Vinit, Milind. Don't you think we ought to have won some historical battles that made us survive, the only oldest living civilization on this planet? Let me narrate you an African saying: until the lions have their own storyteller, the history of the hunt will always glorify the hunter. It's high time we, the lions, start telling our innumerable, glorious victories against our foreign invaders in our school history books. Let me tell you just one story, one fact. It was early 18th century. The Dutch East India Company were the strongest European power. They had already taken control of South Africa, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, and had made many rulers of southern India their vassals. And it appeared it was just a matter of time they would rule India. One Raja stood in their way. Around 1730s, the new ruler of Travancore, Maharaja Martanda Varma, adopted a policy of expansionism. He conquered several kingdoms of Malabar coast and threatened the economic interest of Dutch East India Company. The reason being, Martanda Varma and the vassals whom he had conquered had little interest in honoring the contract the Dutch had made earlier with those conquered states. Hence, Dutch decided to teach Martanda Varma a lesson. The powerful Dutch army, in spite of stiff resistance from the locals, the children of sea, the Dutch marched ahead and came as close to Kolachal, the southernmost tip of India in Kanyakumari, looted the neighboring areas with the intention of capturing Padmanabhapuram, the capital of Travancore. The master strategies that Martanda Varma was, he waited and then cut off the land and sea supply route of the Dutch army and entrapped them for months together at Kolachal from all sides. And then, at the most opportune moment in July 1741, led a fierce attack against the Dutch. The battle ended in a decisive victory for the Travancore force, forever ending the Dutch colonial ambition in the Indian subcontinent. Had it not been that, I would be giving a speech in Dutch and not in English to you. Such was the irrefutable bravery, courage of Raja Martanda Varma, that the technically superior Dutch army, led by Admiral Astyages da Neo, had to surrender to Maharaja Martanda Varma along with his soldiers. The victory pillar and the painting of the surrender of Admiral Dino Nelon can still be seen. The brave, broad-minded and far-sighted Raja invited the vanquished Dutch army to join his army. The Dutch commander and many Dutch soldiers accepted the offer and served the army of Travancore. Admiral de Lennon was promoted to the rank of Varaya Capitan, the chief admiral of Travancore forces. Martanda Varma killed two birds in one stone. One, by defeating the Dutch, he took over the highly profitable pepper trade. He also got skilled European admiral to train his army in modern techniques of war, which helped him to lay a strong force foundation of Travancore Empire. The irrefragable victory at Korakal is considered as an important landmark, not only in the Indian history, but in the world history, as it is one of the earliest instances of an organized Asian power overcoming a modern European army. Remember that African saying, until the lions have their own storyteller, the history of hunt will always glorify the hunter. You be the lion. Tell your story. There are innumerable such victories in our Indian history against the foreign invaders at every nook and corner of our country, Bharat. Ladies and gentlemen, Government of India, Ministry of Human Resource and Development has given you that opportunity to be that lion. Just email them on rsc_hrd@sansad.nic in which I had put on the chat window the details of a glorious, victorious events of Indian history, which ought to have its pride place in the history books of our school. It does not matter that the deadline of July 15th is over. Grab that opportunity with both hands. Be that lion.
Let us give a great applause for our DTM Milan for this wonderful speech. Thank you, sir. It is really a great of you to give this kind of history to us. Nobody knows who is where and what is what. So it was really a great reminder from you. And once again, we will keep in our mind to become a lion. Thank you so much. Now our second speaker. Before I could call for the second speaker, I would like to invite the evaluator. The evaluator for the second speaker is a Toastmasters our Speech Viewers Club. He is from Delhi. He has participated in many contests and he has won the speech contest at district level and club level and so on and so forth. He is also having his own club at his place where he is very busy in managing that club also. He's a very active member of Speech Viewers Club. I would call upon the evaluator, Toastmaster Subhadeep. Over to you, Toastmaster Subhadeep.
Thank you, Joseph, sir. So this speech will be delivered by Toastmaster Mayur, and this is part of his high performance leadership, and this is his first speech. The purpose of this project is for the member to apply his or her leadership and training knowledge to develop a project plan, organize a guidance committee, and implement the plan with the help of a team. The purpose of the first speech here today is for the member to introduce his or her plan and vision. With that being said, all the best to the speaker and over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Subhadeep Mukherjee, for your introduction. For the speaker, second speaker. He is a past VP membership, immediate past VP education, and is a current president of the Speech Viewers Club. He likes to read books and go cycling in his free time. Currently, he works for a startup as a business manager. His speech on presentation mastery, level 5 of HPL project, that is the speech title, is the HPL project.
Joseph sir, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. There's a change in the speech title. It's Learning from the Champion HPL.
who is learning from the champion HPL. Let us join our hands and invite Toastmaster Mayur Subramvanshi, the president of the club. Over to you, Toastmaster Suryavamshi, Mayur Suryavamshi.
Sorry. Thank you, Joseph, for your wonderful introduction. Good evening, Toastmaster and guest. Planning is important to achieve any goal. As quoted by Gloria Steinem, without leaps of imagination or dreaming, we lose the excitement of possibilities. Dreaming, after all, is a form of planning. Today, I am going to discuss my vision and action plan for my high performance leadership project, for which I am going to organize an event where a keynote speaker will deliver her presentation on how to be a ACE at virtual speaking. The reason being doing this event is to member get most out of it and they become good speaker in virtual environment. As she attained coveted position of second runner-up in first ever held Toastmaster World Championship of Public Speaking in 2020. By doing this event, our club and guests can benefit themselves if you are still camera shy and not able to perform well, although you were good in physical atmosphere. Another reason for doing this event is to attract as many number of non-Toastmaster audience to get new member for the club. Apart from this, I want to do good PR for this event so that it will reach to large number of Toastmaster across district and globally so that it can benefit everybody. To help me in this project, I have one guidance committee comprising of 5 members. They are helping me in planning this project and I am articulating their suggestion for my project. Moreover, I have one team of 5 members and they will be assisting me on bringing this event alive. I will have one person helping me in PR activity as well, which include creating poster for the event and sharing it on various social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. He will create 2 posters and a video which will be circulated in various WhatsApp groups and on social media. Second person will be a buzz master who will create a buzz for event by sending them email invite and sharing registration form for the event at regular interval of 7 days, 5 days, 3 days and 1 day before to remind guests to register and attend the event. He will also follow up with guests for any queries. Similarly, one member will create agenda for the event so everyone will understand how event is structured. One person will take care of the meeting as a Zoom moderator. On the event day, he or she will be a sole handler of the meeting and one person one person will help us with chat monitoring as to greet our guest and follow up with the queries arises during the event in the chat box. The event will be structured in following manner. First, we will have a 5 minute of musical performance to lighten up everyone's mood, and then we will have a presentation by our keynote speaker. To make this event more exciting, we will be keeping this event interactive so that everyone can participate in it. If they feel they have any questions or doubt, we are keeping Q&A segment after the presentation so that audience can question to the keynote speaker and their question get answered. With this planning for the event and high performance leadership project, I am thinking of achieving success in the event with the help of my guidance committee and my team who will assist me throughout my execution of this project. With the help of that member and guest that they will attain most from this event. As I myself faced certain issues adjusting to virtual environment earlier, and many people still think similarly that they need some kind of assistance in improving their virtual speaking skills. So join us next week on 30th of August for the event and stay tuned for further updates. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Mahur. You have given us the very interesting program of yours, and I hope everybody will be anxiously waiting for that day. It's really great. Christian Bentley once said, "My age has so little to do with my image of myself because at a certain point, the number just did not find fit as I felt. It has become irrelevant to me. I just don't feel like that number is representation of my spirit, of energy or anything." Now we will move on to our very interesting and a traditional journey on this meeting day is the table topic session. This will be a very interesting session, and there will be a participant from the guest side also. Those who are not able to speak today, they will also participate in this one. In order to conduct this one, we have a very beautiful person. I always call her Queen of Arts. She is always the winner in every contest. She always dreams. Even the victory stand welcomes her smilingly. She knows that she will be standing on either on first or second, whatever it is. That is the caliber of that Toastmaster. She is a serial doodler, UX designer, and a dreamer. And that dreams are always fulfilled in her. That's why I call her Queen of Hearts. Division table topics runner-up, area humorous speech runner-up. She has won this one. Currently, she is the member of the District 92 PR and Division BPR team. She is also secretary of our club. Let us welcome Toastmaster Vandana. Over to you, Toastmaster Vandana.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joseph. So sometimes when you listen to an introduction like this, you're left speechless. But then you have to come forward and say something. So what do? You practice your impromptu speaking skills. What am I doing right now? I'm making up things as I speak. So a lot of times, someone asks you something and you have to quickly lie. You're out, you're supposed to be at home, you're not supposed to wander out during the lockdown, but you're caught by the police. You're not carrying an affidavit which explains why you're going out. How do you explain yourself creatively? You decide to take leave, but you are not at all sick and you have a deadline. How do you write a creative mail with words flying out of your mouth onto the screen? So we all have come to different situations where we have to explain ourselves, talk about something, express our love for something, rise up to an opportunity at work. So we are here to practice our impromptu speaking skills. And for this, I will also have the help of our timer who will indicate when it is 1 minute. He will show the green card. Thank you, Akash. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, he'll show the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, he'll show the red card. You have another 30 seconds, but once you see the red, it's good to stop. So to qualify, you have to at least speak for a minute. So if you've seen the green card, you're good to go. So I see a lot of faces, people looking away. I wonder who'll rise up to the opportunity to speak today. I'd like to invite some of our maybe seasoned Toastmasters to probably give it a try. Is there any volunteer from the audience? Maybe our guests who are Toastmasters? Toastmaster Subramanian? Okay, go ahead. Are you ready? Can we have you on video and your audio?
One minute, just give me a minute.
No worries. So I see a few participants who've raised their hands, so I'll probably call you after this. Meanwhile, I'd like to request Abu, Perze, Stella, all to be ready because we'd love to hear a bit from our guests today. Yeah, Toastmaster Subramanian, can you tell us where you're joining us from?
Yeah, hi, good evening. I am from Bangalore.
Great. Okay. So are you ready?
Yes. What's going to be the topic?
This is a quote by Gertrude Stein. We are always the same age inside. We are always the same age inside. Over to you, Toastmaster Subramanian.
Yeah, as our Toastmaster, he rightly said, age is just a number. So for me too, age is just a number. So at one point of time, what I always feel with everyone who is young at heart is the age starts going in the reverse when they start feeling young. So every time they feel young, they just go back. So I always think, the colorful memories of my journey of life, which makes me feel very young at all times, and I always get back to the mood of my kid at the mind, so that I can express myself without inhibitions to anyone whom I'm speaking with. That's going to be really an awesome experience with whoever I'm talking with. So they also enjoy my company. So the aura around me is going to reduce the stress which they may have in this process of this being a kid at mind. We gain a lot of things. Our body is becoming very energetic, and our age is we really feel young at heart, where the people who are, especially with this COVID situation, where a lot of people are down with the medical issues, where they start feeling energetic when we are around with them. They feel very relaxed. That's it. I'm out of words.
Thank you so much. That is so great. I think it's important for us to remember that to always remain young at heart. And thank you for sharing your thoughts. Next, I'd like to invite a volunteer. Not always we get one. So Toastmaster Bidu, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. This quote is by Philip James Bailey. It matters not how long we live, but how. It matters not how long we live, but how. Over to you, Toastmaster Bill.
It matters not how long we live, but how. As soon as I heard this quote, I was reminded of the famous Hindi dialogue of Rajesh Khanna and Amitabh Bachchan movie. Babu Moshai, Zindagi lambi nahi, badi honi chahiye. I don't know how many of you did relate to this because it was a movie which came in maybe 70s. But what this phrase often tells us is that we should live our life through moments. We should ensure the moments that we live should have some meaning either to us or to the people who are around us. What it helps us is that it gives us some inherent happiness with the fact that we have created a moment for us or for someone else. And by creating these small moments, these incremental moments add up to a big euphoria or a big event which can be remembered when you look back. But the catch here is, while we are creating these moments, we are often unaware of these creations. It is only when these small events get together and a proper big moment is formed, then we realize the importance of the activities that we are doing. while constructing this event. The other thing that this particular statement states is that how long, which means that in our lifetime, if we are lucky enough to live longer, we have the chance to create such moments many, many times. There is one more quote by Oprah Winfrey, which states that every new year we get a chance to redeem ourselves or to create more opportunities. I want to also insert that quote here by saying that as much longer that we live, we have the chance to create such moments, and hence we should make an effort constructively to create these moments and how we are trying to create this moment. And ultimately, these moments will take care of itself in creating that big euphoria around. With this, over to you, Table Topic Master.
Wow, Bidu, was that rehearsed, or there's some great messages? And for us to look back at, especially with the pandemic, I think we're all reminded that life is always to be lived, like at the moment, in the present. So next, I'd like to invite Abu. Are you a Toastmaster? Can you hear me?
Yeah, proceed, yeah.
Would you like to come on video?
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Okay. So your Toastmaster, Abu, can you tell us where you're joining us from?
I'm joining from Enterprising Toastmasters of Palakkad, Kerala. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not that far away. I'm based in Thrissur. So
okay.
Your topic is some beautiful words by John Lennon. Count your life by smiles, not tears. Count your life by smiles, not tears. Over to you, Toastmaster Abu.
I want to live unseen and unknown. No one should unlament my death. I think these are the famous, I think the line's literally slightly different. It was quoted by Alexander Pope, a poem called Solitude. See, he doesn't want to, even the people know that he lived here, and even a stone shouldn't tell that he lived. What was your topic? Once again, I'm sorry. The topic?
You want a clue?
No, the topic, give me the topic, I'm sorry.
Okay. Count your life by smiles, not tears.
Okay, all right. I feel that I'm the happiest person, and I find, and I never lose any chance to make me happy. And I know this, I'm one of the best self-motivator. Whatever I have, I'm happy. Like Alexander Pope, that taking the breath from on land, from on air. So I have nothing negative. I don't see anything. I never ever look into the shortfalls. And even I don't feel shy to ask you what was the topic, because once I quote Alexander Pope, I was remembering that poem, the sufferings that I have gone through as by heard the poem in my pre-degree, that means +2 time. That's why I became blank then. So the smile is one of the best rhetorical devices, as we are Toastmasters, we used to say. And when we make up our mind always open, and you will find everything is positive. And once we look into that, everything is negative, is always negative. I have seen many Indian, especially Indians and Malus, let me say, how are you? You know, they are very reluctant to say, I'm perfectly well, fine. But if you ask another person, because I work in the Gulf countries, even if they don't have breakfast or lunch or whatever, they say, oh God, I'm very happy. They say, Alhamdulillah, just all the grace to the God. Because they're that much, they're blessed, they don't expect anything. Whatever they have, they're happy in it. So my advice is everybody to make yourself happy. And if you're happy, you can see everything in front of you happiest. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abu, for not volunteering, but still coming on screen and talking to us, and for spreading some magic with your words. Next, I'd like to invite a champion, a teacher, educator, a theater teacher, Toastmaster Fuzzy. Okay, Fuzzy, are you ready?
I am ready.
But I think I'll give you a tough one. Are you okay with that?
Sure.
Okay. Laughter is timeless. Imagination has no age and dreams are forever. Laughter is timeless. Imagination has no age and dreams are forever. Over to you.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master, for such an intriguing topic. My friends, I invite you back to the age of 5. Where were you? Where in the garden were you exploring everything, touching things, seeing things, maybe chasing the puppy, maybe holding a chicken, maybe thinking about what was up in the tree or climbing the tree? And then, how about at the age of 10, meeting new games? Oh, wasn't life beautiful? Weren't we smiling and laughing at everything that was happening, oblivious to what kinds of realities may be going on, and instead focusing on those great mysteries of life, enjoying everything with laughter? And even at the age of 21, when many of us were in college, with the knowledge of the world in our mind, we still laughed with our friends and explored the mysteries of life. Our imaginations were stirred in our youth and shaped in our middle years. And the only thing that's going to keep us from getting old is that we keep smiling, we keep laughing, and we keep our imaginations moving forward. We felt young when we were young, and we felt young when we were middle-aged. And we will always feel young if we keep imagining and stirring up our imaginations of what we could do next. So even though our knees are rickety, and even though our eyes are losing their vision, we will never lose sight of what keeps us young. If we keep laughing and we keep imagining the greatness that can happen between each other. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Firstly, it's like you took a wand and just zapped us all through into a magic world. So I know we're running a little late, but I'd love to call one more person. That's our Zoom master, Toastmaster Varsha, who's also whipping up some magic spotlighting. So are you ready?
Yeah.
Varsha? Okay.
Yeah.
So here's aging is another word for living. Aging is another word for living. Over to you, Toastmaster Varsha.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vandana. So, the topic was aging after...
is another word for living.
Aging is just another word for living. So, the moment I heard the sentence, it was like, it's an experience. Aging is kind of experience. You learn things. As when you were a kid, you didn't know how to cross a road. But as you started to grow up, like after your education, you know how to cross road. And aging also is kind of experience. You still remember your experience, how it was when you went to first buy a chocolate or anything. It is I can say aging is like a bunch of memories where you've it's kind of storybook, I can tell, where you start from a sentence and at the end you stop by a full stop. I guess I'm done now. Not able to.
Thank you, Toastmaster Varsha. You hit the green, so you did it. So I'll have to say thank you to all the speakers because the topics were not easy. They were phrases So it was a different challenge to remember the topic, because you start off and then you realize what was the topic. To wrap it up, I'd like to say some of the quotes that I could not ask some of our wonderful audience to speak, also to reflect and think. Growing old is mandatory, but growing up is optional. Walt Disney. One day you will look back and see that all along you were blooming. By Morgan Harper. Anyone who keeps the ability to see beauty never grows old. That's Kafka. The best tunes are played on the oldest fiddles by Ralph Waldo. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Joseph.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vandana, for the wonderful table topic you have conducted, which is coinciding with the theme of the day. And all the quotes are very interesting, and people who have attempted are really had a great say in this one. I thank you for all of you. Now, after the World War, there was a flu which wiped out millions of people. Of late, the pandemic was another catastrophe in our